back to our case study. Now we're going to talk about Heathrow Airport in the United Kingdom. Heathrow Airport is one of the largest, most busiest airports in the world. With a number of terminals, it houses about 90 airlines, large airlines that fly up to 180 plus destinations. So this is not a small airport. It is not small by any measure. Now, what is the project? The project was to renovate Terminal 1. This was 2004. Up till then, Terminal 1 used to run only local flights. Now, Terminal 1 was to begin to run international flights. Now, renovating the terminal was not so much of the issue, but the terminal had to be renovated while passengers were still using it. And we're talking about 20 million passengers per year. Now, that was the project. It was handed over to an expert, a project management expert, who eventually tackled it, and everything turned out successful, of course. But what was the key to the success of the 2004 Heathrow Airport Terminal 1 renovation? What was the key? The key was two things. The first one was risk management. The project team used, I think we have discussed before, risk mitigation. They used risk mitigation. That was one. Two, they used very efficient communication management. We haven't discussed that yet, but I'm mentioning it for the first time, so of course we will discuss it in future. They used an effective communications management. Now, the risk management, the risk mitigation, there were two risks. One was an asbestos risk. Remember that airport at 2004, the airport was 40, the building itself was 40 years old by 2004. That means that most likely a lot of asbestos was used. Now, this had to be extracted without causing any hazard to the project team or the passengers. So they used risk mitigation. Around the areas where they built where the asbestos was, they built an airtight container, shielding the entire area from passengers, allowing the experts to bring down the asbestos safely. That was what they did for that particular risk. Now, they mitigated the second risk as well, which was the electrical risk. Of course, this is by that time, if this was by that time a 40-year-old building, so obviously the electrics would be very difficult to handle, very difficult, because naturally a lot of what they had at the airport was not up to par with the IT infrastructure now in use at that airport. So a lot of the electricals had to be changed, and after they were changed, there was meant to be a main power switch to be turned on and off for the new system to come online. And the risk was there that, you know, because of the enormity and the complexity of the of fixing the electrical work at the airport, that the switch may not come on when it is turned on the second time. Again, there they used risk mitigation as well. There they put in systems to make sure that as best as possible the power switch would definitely not fail, because there were lots of checking and cross-checking. That was the first thing they did. The second thing they did was that they informed all the stakeholders, all the users of that particular terminal of what was going to happen and measures to be taken in case the opposite, the negative, resulted. Now, it so happened that when they switched off and switched back on, everything was okay. So these were the two things they used most effectively to accomplish this particular project. Risk mitigation, which we discussed, and communications management.